Anybody else have any questions or comments on the consent agenda? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Kim, is there a second? Second by Mike Stoll. And you will wait, please.
Kim Brown?
Yes.
Mike Stoll?
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero, yes. Here's President Tola
Yes.
and Linda Williams.
Yes. Superintendent's report.
As I reported, I guess, last week, we did receive our approval for the technology loan, $36,000. And what we'll be doing with that is the grant that was written calls for 2 Promethean boards to be placed in Billy Atmos Elementary and Harristown Elementary and at the middle school. So those have been ordered and we're in the process of getting them in, so that was some good news. So we'll hopefully get those in the next month or two and expand that capability in those schools.
Anybody have questions or comments on that? I got one more question on boilers that just came to me. What's the deal with these here? Because about 5 or 6 years ago, supposedly, they came in and fixed what they didn't, remember that?
Yes.
Fixed what they didn't fix correctly several years before that, and it was supposed to be all fine and dandy. And now they're not working again.
Well, I talked to Lonnie and he said that the boiler here, there are 2 pumps that they've done, and for the last however long, these pumps have been out. And I guess Lonnie and Sherry have been manually keeping these things going. And one of the things that we want to have to do is to replace those 2 pumps. And so we're working to do that. And there are also like 75, I don't know what they call traps through the building. It's supposed to be checked about every 4 to 5 years. Lonnie said probably the last time they were checked was about 1996. We're doing some repair work, trying to get back to 100%.
So obviously, this, whatever wasn't
Let's see.
checked since
I mean, they did a lot.
1996 wasn't part of the
No.
meter repairs in about 2006.
Yeah, and Monty can tell you more about it than I can, but I tell you what, the reason, like I said, boiler, every school I've been in, anybody's had trouble with boiler.
Okay, we're down to, like, that, we're down to.
I've got a couple of faults in the boiler.
Yeah.
Actually, there's some rebates out there for track replacement. I'll haul it.
Yeah, if you would, yeah, because that, first we've got to, I guess, scope it to find out what's going on with the traps. And then we're probably looking at repair, replace. So if you've got some information, that might be helpful.
Thanks, Brett. Curriculum director report.
I just wanted to hand you, Mr. Kyler, have you given them this yet?
No.
Okay. This was put together by the Education Coalition, so I just want to make sure you have a copy. We're going to get it into the hands of our parents as well. I think we're receiving enough copies for all of the students, and to have, it's a really simplified version of the Common Core standards, very, very simplified. But it's written where someone can pick it up and read it and kind of have an idea. We keep talking about Common Core, so I wanted to give you a little handbook just to give you an idea of what it is. It's really cut and dry of what each child will be learning in each grade level for EAF, what they call ELA, but English Language Arts, English skills and math skills. Of course, the actual Common Core is much more comprehensive. This is even a shorter version for educators, which is a flip chart. So you can see it goes into a lot more detail. So don't be fooled looking, oh, that's it, that's what they're working on. But what they do, each strand, we go into a lot of depth and there's a lot more to it. But I really like this. It's just written very simply for the average person to pick up and read and kind of have an idea of what this Common Core everybody's talking about. So it really is a nice tool that the Education Coalition put together for us that we can pass out to parents.
And this was taken on by the students as well, right?
Not yet, I haven't passed it out yet, but
I would like to attempt to explain it to the parents beforehand, because I think as Reed said, you just look at it, it looks very
I think
simple.
I've got one on the trucker, it's very similar to this.
you might have been given one. Each school has it.
There's some at the junior high ones sitting there, so they're just really.
I got three of the exact same ones with one of them. I haven't had a chance to look at them close.
So if anybody asks you what the Common Core, I mean, it's all over the news now. You hear all these talks and some controversies too about Common Core. But like I said, very simplified version, but it does give the website on the back where if parents wanted to go and look a little bit further to find out what they are. And I would recommend Engage New York. New York is really with it, with the Common Core, and they have a lot of just invaluable resources and things for educators in particular, but that state happens to be really on top of things with Common Core, and I know I've gone to it, and my teachers gone to it for a lot of resources, so. Which is the nice thing about Common Core, is we can now go state to state and get resources from the other states that are participating, not just Illinois, which happens to maybe not be the best resource at this time. Imagine that.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Any old business?
No, we don't have any,
New business, consider extension of high school baseball co-op.
And this would be for a 2-year extension. Our co-op agreement is due up for high school baseball, it's for 14, 15, 15, 16, and also for softball, items A and B on the new business. Essentially working well for the kids. I'm going to recommend that we renew.
Questions, comments? Not to entertain a motion to approve
Who's the whole school for the co-ops?
Tri-City is,
For both of them?
yeah.
Is there any chance we could become the host school for one of them?
Probably
We
not.
don't have the field that they have. Our field, our baseball field is not, and our softball field.
The lights don't work out here either, right? And we can't have any games at night.
So we've completed our, I guess with the, obviously with 13, 14 now, but is it, have we been in 2 years, is that correct?
This will be our second year that we were coming upon to be completing.
Okay.
And it's because this co-op, this renewal is for 14, 15, 15, 16.
Okay, and I entertain a motion to approve the renewal of high school baseball co-op dress aid. Motion made by Mike Stover, second.
Second.
Second by Cam. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown?
Yes.
Mike Stowe?
Yes.
Mike Oakley? Yes. Stephanie Guerrero?
Yes.
Pat Peters? Yes. Brad Santola?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. High school girls softball.
Same thing, and again, they're trying to renew these at the same time to keep the cycle going, 14, 15, 15, 16. Recommend renewal.
I'd like to talk to parent people here, parent people down there, and everybody's participating, it's pretty happy.
Yeah, they went to regionals last year.
They also don't charge, I guess I, been pointing out when we draw a gate for a football game, we host football, so we have a pretty substantial gate. I would assume you never charge at baseball and softball games. I don't know why. Seems like there's a way you should be able to do that, but they're definitely not making any money off of us being down there. If that factors into anyone's opinion, I would think that that's something they're doing basically at their cost, so. It's not like they're hosting a substantial sport.
Okay, anyone care to make a motion to approve high school girls softball co-op?
So much.
Motion made by Cam, is there a second?
Second.
Brad? Second by Brad Santola. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown?
Yes.
Mike Stowe?
Yes.
Mike Oakley?
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero?
Yes.
Pat Peters? Yes. Brad Santola?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Wrestling and Tri-City.
Oh,
Warrensburg.
Warrenburg, I'm sorry. What we used to have.
Warrensburg Latham High School has a wrestling program, and they had contacted us about possibly sending some of our kids over. If they're interested in wrestling, they would be welcome to come and join them for wrestling. It's an opportunity that maybe we can give our kids. Warrensburg is not going to charge us anything to participate. We would have the transportation cost of going over, but that's it. Kids would have to pay an athletic fee to participate at Warrensburg for the program. But seems like it'd be fairly inexpensive for us, and I don't know if we'll have any kids that want to do that, but it would be an offering that we could give kids, and
When's their season? Is it now?
Yeah, coincide with basketball.
Yeah, schools, yeah. Same.
How does that affect us as far as the real sports versus boys sports, or how does that?
Yeah, timeline, does that affect timeline?
I don't think it would. I talked to Coach Myers a little bit, about the prospect, and he never gave any red flags about them. I don't think it would.
The thing, I guess, is it does coincide with basketball, we don't have a large number of basketball players. Mr. Myers didn't have any objection.
No, and I asked him specifically about that, if it would take away from his program. He said he doesn't think he's really got any basketball players that would be interested in wrestling. Now, we may have some football players that might be interested, and possibly some kids that do need it. Maybe that would be an opportunity.
Basketball players typically don't wrestle, and vice versa.
Yeah.
My experience with that. So.
Would we have a minimum, or if one kid's interested, we would transport one kid to and from practices and what have you, or how would that?
That's my next question.
Yeah, and that is a good point. Now what Warrensburg would probably do is if we only have, say, one kid, and I don't know, because even if you have one kid, what happens in Warrensburg, then we'll take on our 200 and some
Right.
kids enrollment, it might bump them up a class. So
Well,
I know it may be a question, they may not want us if after a year we send one kid.
So will they start this year, since it's already in the
No,
middle of the
it'd be-
season?
it'd be
Okay.
next
Well, I
year.
personally think it'd be fine, but I think before we vote on this, I got no problem with sending them over there. I think we ought to have a sign up, see who's interested.
We could do that.
Yeah.
And then if you got, more than one kid and they want to take us, I don't know if we want to set them, I don't know, one kid. We've sent one kid places before, and that's fine if you got one kid, if they're willing to take one kid, but I think you need to have a sign up so if anybody interested will be in there.
And we could probably do that, because I don't think probably the deadline for forming the co-op, Bob, when the deadline.
It would probably be the beginning of the school year next year.
So we could probably go ahead and have a sign up and just see how many kids would be interested. And it might be one of those things that if you get 3 or 4 interested this year and they have a good experience with it, and they come back and tell some of the other kids what kind of experience they had, it might then, expand. So we could table this a month and do a sign up and just kind of see.
So what about, do they want to do a 1-year trial?
Well, I think you do a minimum of 2 years
Okay.
on a co-op agreement.
Okay.
So I think probably in that 2 years, they'd give it a couple years, and if the numbers did not benefit them, it would be a
Sure.
detriment to
Sure.
Warrensburg if we're not producing some athletes for them to use.
Well, I spoke to Mr. Fallon about this a couple weeks ago, and he told me that you looked into the possibility of us hosting our own wrestling program and the costs that would involve there. At one point, Tri-City had a wrestling program. Would there be a possibility of us talking with them? And I'm sure they probably wouldn't be interested in starting up that program because of the cost. Maybe there'd be some interest. Maybe we should at least pursue that just a little bit.
And we could
And
look
let
at
them
that.
know, just so that they, since we already go off with
Yeah.
them, they probably won't be interested. I doubt if that goes anywhere, but at least kind of give them a heads up and give them an opportunity to say, we don't think that's something we want to take on at this point, or we don't think we have any interest.
Yeah, I've never been at a school that actually had wrestling, so I don't know what the cost and the expenses are involved. We'd have to research that out. Now, I think you said Tri-City at one time had
They
wrestling.
had it, because really, I was saying kids over, I'm not so sure what Tri-City's not sending kids to Riverton wrestling. Just if you have to send something, you have to check it out, I guess.
I just feel like since we've already got
Yeah.
an agreement with them, I can see where that might.
And I know that I had talked with the Tri-City superintendent, or I sent him an email that Warrensburg had invited us to co-op with wrestling, and we were open to that, but we weren't in any way doing anything to knock our co-ops out of Tri-City. And he said he understood because they did not have it. We didn't have it, so no problem on their end. That's what we want to do with Warrensburg.
And they've already discussed it.
Could be. We could table this, I mean, we can table it and do some checking before we take action.
Do they have a stipulation that they want a certain number, like 5 to participate before they take us?
Bob, you talk to Mr. Hatcher,
He didn't say anything about a specific number. The one thing he did mention as well is the fact that they have a kids program that they would eventually open up to Sangamon Valley as well, so.
Kind of like a JFL. if you will,
Is that the coach or the AD or who's this?
Kim Hatcher's the principal.
Oh,
Do you know what their, the athletic fee would be?
they charge $50 an athletic fee for their kids.
And then we could also pull our 8th grade students who will be incoming freshmen as well, and make sure the interest is down there.
Okay, need a motion to table the cooperative agreement with the wrestling in Warrensburg.
Are we gonna try and take some type of a calendar or send something out to maybe the junior high school?
We could, you know.
See what kind of interest level there is.
We'll just sign up in the office here after the first of the year, and then maybe Mr. Field can do the same thing for the years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One motion.
Okay, motion by Brad to table cooperative agreement for wrestling in Warrensburg. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Thad. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Consider update of use of facilities policy.
And I've given you, I think, the draft of the policy. Basically, we've got our 5th graders that, we've got several 5th graders that are playing basketball now, and there's been some concern about the use of the little gym for so many of the 5th graders and needing to use it at a place that had more baskets so that they can have more shooting time. I don't see a problem by opening that up and just adjusting that policy so that we don't get, we don't limit our 5th graders from doing that. So I think it'd be a good idea to just do it. I think right now, the way the policy reads, we're probably okay, but this would just spell it out a little bit more, just to let the 5th graders, as long as it doesn't interfere with our regular school activities. So I don't think that them being on that gym floor 3 hours a week for however many weeks is going to cause any more damage than having PE in there every day. So I say let them use it.
Is this open to other athletics also, like I know, for instance, there's some of the Sangamon Valley girls are playing on the chaos team, on the softball team.
Well,
I know there's some interest there.
What I've done is we've got that old gym over there, and the policy read that there would be no softball played on there. But now my understanding is during the winter months, they like to get in and play pitch and catch and really work with the pitchers, like work with girls catching the ball. I think if they did that, the old gym would be fine. So I think I tweaked that policy to cover them.
Back when I was still coaching softball, about the only time you got scuff marks when you're hitting the ball.
Yeah,
Driving
that's-
the ball into the wood floor.
And I think that's causing no damage inside. But I think for the pitchers and catchers, and especially in the old gym over there, I think they're careful enough. They're supervised by a coach. So, I don't think there'd be an issue. I think go ahead and do that and cover them with that revised policy as well.
Okay, we need a motion to adopt the revised use of facilities policy.
So moved.
Motion made by Stephanie, seconded by Kim. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Thad Peters, yes, Brad Santola,
Yes.
Leonard Williams.
Yes. Okay, we need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Motion made by Kim, is there a second?
Second.
Same with Mike Oakley. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe, Mike Oakley, Stephanie Guerrero, Thad Peters, yes, Brad Santola,
Yes.
Leonard Williams. Yes.
Okay, we're back in open session, and we need a motion to approve the closed session minutes as read in closed session.
So moved.
Motion made by Stephanie, seconded by Mike Oakley. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Pat Peters, yes. Brad Stone,
Yes.
Larry Williams.
Yes. Okay, now, we need a motion to reassign Debbie Hawkins from the position of Gilliapolis Elementary School Principal to classroom teacher based on the request of Mrs. Hawkins, effective at the end of the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Motion's made by Cam, is there a second? Second by Stephanie. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Pat Peters, yes. Brad Stone,
Yes.
Larry Williams.
Yes. Need a motion to approve Jason Doty, Kyle Nave, and Dave Campbell as non-paid volunteer bass fishing team sponsors. You said it. Motion made by Mike Stahl, second by Brad Santola. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Pat Peters, yes. Brad Stone,
Yes.
Larry Williams.
Yes. Need a motion to approve Leanne Myers for FMLA due to maternity leave beginning on April 21st, 2014 for the remainder of the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Kim, second by Mike Oakley. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Pat Peters, yes. Brad Stone,
Yes.
Larry Williams.
Yes. Need a motion to approve Becky Nave for FMLA on an intermittent basis due to the need to care for a family member as defined in the act.
So moved.
Motion made by Stephanie. Second.
So moved.
Second by Cam. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Pat Peters, yes. Brad Stone,
Yes.
Larry Williams.
Yes. Need a motion to approve the superintendent evaluation as completed by the Board of Education.
So moved.
Motion made by Kim, seconded by Stephanie. Call roll, please.
Kim Brown,
Yes.
Mike Stowe,
Yes.
Mike Oakley,
Yes.
Stephanie Guerrero,
Yes.
Pat Peters, yes. Brad Stone,
Yes.
Larry Williams.
Yes. If you have no further questions or comments, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by,
So, one comment I got is congratulations to the seventh grade girls. Everyone regionals got the sessions.
good deal, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mike.
It was a packed house.
It was a hell of a sport from our school, our fans. Good times.
Okay, we have a motion from Kim, is there a second? Second by Mike Oakley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?